Working? Yeah. All right, so your Miranda rights, you have to have them understood in your language before you're arrested, and if not, that's the loophole where they could say, you know, you arrest me without something, everything gets thrown out. So that's your Miranda deal. Let's see, what else we got? You get eminent domain, right? I mentioned Gideon. Gideon in 1963 was, he robbed a liquor store, and the rule was if you, it was less than $500. So he was not given a lawyer. He petitioned the Supreme Court, and they finally heard his case, and they came out, I don't know what it was the decision, the same what the decision was? The result of the Gideon case, that was also 63. That was that anybody can have a lawyer for them, no matter what crime you've been accused of doing. All right, the right to privacy. There's nowhere in the Bill of Rights that says you have a right to privacy. What's the closest thing to right to privacy that's in the Constitution? It's the Fourth Amendment. Search and seizure. You have the right to live your life and not be messed with unless there's a reason we need to come check things out. In the Fourth Amendment, it says the right of the people to be secure in their homes, secure in their persons, homes, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures. That's the closest we got to a right to privacy. In 1928, Justice Louis Brandeis argued in the dissent. Now I'll tell you this. When we get to the court system. Supreme Court, you remember what they don't do?
Guilt.
They don't do guilt or innocence. They just decide if the Constitution's been followed or not. And they vote on it, and they vote to overturn that decision based on the Constitution or to uphold that decision based on the Constitution. Let's say they vote 6-3. Guess how many Supreme Court justices there are? 9. You want me to give you a bonus? For free, doesn't cost you nothing. The rule of 4 is what they use to hear cases. If 4 of the 9 justices want to hear the case, they'll hear the case. This is called the majority. I call it the winning side. This is the dissent. It means you oppose. One of these people is asked to write the majority opinion, which they explain using the Constitution why they voted that way. And one of these people writes a dissenting opinion, explaining why, using the Constitution. Can't you say, because I said so? They have to use the Constitution. I don't know why everybody talks like that. This is the losing side. Does the dissenting opinion of the Supreme Court carry any weight at all?
Yes and no. It sets the precedent for future cases, but it doesn't.
You can use that, but it better not be your number one argument. Who uses these kind of things? Who would use these? And what would they be used for?
Smaller cases.
If you ever go to a lawyer's office, you got books everywhere. And all these books are nothing but old court cases. And you use old court cases to argue your case. The majority, you use these in law school, you use these as a lawyer. You could use the dissenting opinion to argue something, but you better have something else. It is, a Supreme Court person did write it. It has legitimacy, but it's not as big as the majority opinion. But in the dissenting opinion, that the Fourth Amendment should be extended to a more general principle of privacy in the home. Another step in this direction was taken when several Jehovah's Witnesses directed their children not to salute the flag or say the Pledge of Allegiance in school because the first of the 10 Commandments prohibits worship of graven images. They lost in 40, but 43, that decision was switched. Let's see. Another one, probably the most famous right to privacy case, is Roe versus Wade. This was a case where somebody fell out of their boat and they had to decide what to do to save themselves. Roe versus Wade. it's not listed. That was at least semi, wasn't it? Do something. Okay, do something better. Ready? 3. See? Okay, that's what I thought. Roe versus Wade. What do you know about Roe versus Wade? Probably the most famous case. What's it about?
Established the federalism view of abortion and
Abortion. Yeah, the right to an abortion. Now abortion is legal. Before that, it was 1973. Before that, abortion was illegal. It was, here we go. Roe was Jane Roe. That was not her name. Her real name was Norma McCorvey. We'll talk about her in a little bit. Wade was the district attorney out of Dallas County. So this was out of Dallas. 1973 in Texas, state law prohibited the termination of a pregnancy by artificial means, except when the life of the mother was in danger. The statute was constructed as a, quote, nearly complete ban on abortion. A Texas woman claiming privacy as a fundamental right challenged the Texas statute. In 1971, the case was argued before the Supreme Court. In 1972, it was argued again. Roe and a companion case, Doe versus Bolton, were the first cases to test in the court the newly recognized right of privacy against the compelling and overriding interest of the states to regulate abortions. Now, this girl was married with, I think she had one kid, and her husband left her, and she was pregnant. Didn't know what to do. This case, as noted, involved the right to privacy as implied by Amendments 1, 3, 4, 5, 9, and 14. That's a lot of amendments. Versus the police power of the states. Did states have a compelling and overriding interest in regulating the health, safety, and morals of the community? Was there an area of professional, personal, marital, familial, like family, and sexual privacy protected by the Bill of Rights? Was the Texas law an unreasonable invasion of privacy, or was it a reasonable exercise of police power? Were women permitted to terminate pregnancies at will, or were fetuses persons with rights to be protected by the state? It was a 7-2 decision. White and Rehnquist were the dissent. Byron Whizzer White was on the Supreme Court. He won the Heisman Trophy in the 30s as a running back at Colorado. I've got so much crap stored in this head, you never know. One time, about 23 years ago, I went in the field house. The coach Neighbor said, "Hey, Ryle, got a trivia for you." I said, "Okay." He said, "Who's the first 1,000-yard rusher in NFL history?" He looked so proud. I said, "Beatty Feathers in 1934 for the Chicago Bears. He was from the University of Tennessee." He went, "Yeah, that's right." We don't have nicknames like we used to. We used to have nicknames, and it was awesome. Now we just don't have nicknames. They said, they voted 7-2 that yes, she has a right to terminate a pregnancy in the first trimester, first 90 days, first 3 months. The court observed that the 14th Amendment contained 3 references to person. In his majority opinion, Justice Blackburn noted that in all 3, the use of the word is such that it has application only postnatally, only after birth. He did go on to say, he didn't agree that Texas, that the state may override the rights of the pregnant woman. He didn't agree with Texas that the state may override the rights of the pregnant woman that are at stake. On the other hand, he said the state does have an important and legitimate interest in protecting the potentiality of human life. So even in his saying, yes, abortion's okay, he said, well, you're really supposed to protect something that isn't born yet. So threw both of them out there, which is kind of confusing. But that stated that in America you do have the right to an abortion. Now different states have different laws about when that can happen. Most of them is the first 3 months. There are some, some places, I don't know where, and I'm not going to say this actually does happen, but I've heard that there's a possibility of a partial birth abortion. You ever heard of that?
Virginia and West Virginia, the governor's right there.
Okay. I skipped every day of medical school. I've never been a girl, never been pregnant, never had a kid. Watched it happen, never had a kid. It seems to me, in being in the room while the birth is happening, the bad part of it is when the baby is actually coming out. Okay? I would think that from the time, and I'm not down with medical order, from the time the mom is yelling and it's the head is going through something, and then when it comes out, it's everything okay. All right, we made it. Good. Everything. I remember there's the little colt. Christy said I made some little face because I knew it was a boy and did that, so she knew it was a boy. Partial birth abortion. The head comes out. I've heard they cut the brainstem and then pull the baby out. And the argument I've heard for that is the safety of the mother. I did skip every day in medical school. I don't see, if you've already done that, you might as well, pull the rest out, take somebody that wants it. I don't know. But there are people in America that think that's okay. And I can talk to you if you think abortion should be legal. I can talk with you. But if you're saying, hey, abortion, worth abortion, what?
Coach, it's not the worst one. The worst one is, I thought you were talking about Virginia, the one where the governor proposes after birth, you can look at like a Spartan.
Yes, that's right.
Like a Spartan did. You look at your child, decide if you want it or not, and then you can decide if you want it.
I think any logical person would say that's not abortion anymore. Once the baby's out, you've not aborted a pregnancy, there's a baby. Anyway, all right, how about that? How about some positive? Isn't that cool? Aren't you glad okay. Welcome to America. All right, let's see. Civil liberties. Oh, we have all that. Let me see. All right. Yes, that's all of this chapter. Clear and present. Let me see this. Clear and present danger. There might be, I've heard of that. There might be something on that. Did you know O.J. Simpson was found guilty in civil court of causing the death of the two people he cut the heads off of? O.J. Simpson was found guilty in civil court of causing the death of the two people, his ex-wife and her friend, or the other guy. Y'all heard that? He was found not guilty in criminal court. The family sued him in civil court, and he was found to have caused the death. Now, that's not double jeopardy, because that's two separate. He was found guilty of violating their civil rights, which if you cut someone's head off, you have violated someone's civil rights. I had O.J. Simpson spot belts when I was a kid. Those were my first cleats. I loved O.J. Simpson. Oh, my hero. Where is he? Clear and present danger. Okay. Remember we talked, we'll throw this out there. Remember we talked about hate speech and fighting words and that kind of stuff yesterday? Remember that? Okay. Clear and present danger is used to determine whether speech is protected or unprotected based on its capacity to present a clear and present danger to society. So there's certain things I could say to someone that just to trigger something. I guess that's how they use, like I have the right to say you're stupid, But if I know there's something that that really gets you, and I say it, then I'm on purpose, maybe that could. Yeah, I have free speech, but if I know saying this is going to cause you to do this, then I did skip every day of law school, though, right? Understand that. I've skipped every day of law school and of medical school, but I do know some medical stuff. Because I've had to fix stuff and help people with stuff. One of the worst I've ever felt as a coach. That's a long list. It's a B team game a long time ago. And this kid intercepted the ball and is running upfield and gets tackled and he's screaming. So me and Coach Neighbors, the only coach, we run out there. He's screaming, my knee, my knee, my knee. So we get him kind of calmed down. We look at his knee. We know the test for the knee. We do the little knee test. Everything's solid. Everything's good. Like, everything's good. He goes, my knee, it's got my knee. We're like, okay, come on. So we take him to the sideline. We sit him down. And he's just screaming the whole time, just screaming. And so I finally get his mom said, you don't want to take him. We can't find anything. And he can't walk, so we pick him up. Fireman, me and another guy, we pick him up, and when I pick him up, I feel the bone set. It was his finger. I didn't know it was his knee. I'm looking at knee. I didn't know leg. It was knee. I was like, okay. So what? Yeah, I did, but not when it happened. No. So, but then later that year, little Colt? Yeah, little Colt was playing baseball, and this catcher, they threw the ball in. The kid slid into him, and he's on the ground screaming, my knee, my knee. And I went, hold it, stop. Take him to the hospital right now. He had a broken femur. So I learned. All right, good enough.